Hi there Year 8, this is Mr. Stringer and I'm going to talk you through the Design and Technology course that we offer for your options. Now the way the course works is it's split up into the 3 years, 9, 10 and 11, and Year 9 is what we call the skills building year. So the idea behind Year 9 is that there are 6 units that give you all the skills you need to make sure that you can produce a high quality outcome in Year 10 and 11. Now the first project we do in Year 9 is a woodwork project. We also do an electronics project which has got some metalwork in it as well. We do technical drawing by hand, and we do technical drawing using the computer, 3D and 2D. We do a graphics project where we're using desktop publishing, and then you do a mock NEA design and make project, which does change fairly frequently, but at the moment it's a gadget tidy which is mainly made from plywood. There's also after school masterclasses which we will be running, which basically are extra sessions run by members of staff with small focus groups of students which focus on skills and machines that aren't covered in the curriculum. So they're like extra bonus masterclass lessons. Now here's a bit more information on the Year 9 project. So like I said, the first project is a woodwork project where you make a storage box which is done using pine. You get to use the router, you also make some joints, so it's a bit of an extension on the Memphis clock project that you do. There's also some 2D and 3D CAD work involved as well. The electronics project you do is a nightlight, and this involves using jigs, using formers. You will also use the drills and the sander to make a wooden and aluminium base, and then the top piece, as you can see in the photo, is drawn on 2D design and cut out on the laser cutter. You will also be using soldering irons to solder up a circuit, and you will also be using computer software to design and develop your own circuits. The technical drawing and CAD/CAM unit covers drawing by hand in isometric and orthographic. You will also be using the computers to do some detailed orthographic drawings, and you will also use SketchUp to develop your skills working in 3D environments. The last project you do in Year 9 is currently the gadget tidy, which you can see the pictures of are mainly made of wood and are quite detailed and quite intricate. In Year 10 you do 2 practical units, exam preparation and a mock NEA. NEA stands for non-examined assessment and is the way that your coursework will run. Now the projects you do are a passive speaker, an advent calendar and your mock NEA project, which changes every year. What we do is we do the previous year's GCSE project as a mock, so it is different every year, so I can't tell you exactly what that will be at this point. In Year 11 you do your NEA project and you do your exam preparation. Now the NEA project is a big design and make project which is 50% of your GCSE grade and will take you pretty much the whole way through Year 11, and then at the end of Year 11 there is a 2-hour written exam which is 50% of your final grade. So here are your Year 10 projects. So at the moment we do an advent calendar project where you design and develop your own advent calendar, as well as designing the main advent calendar and laser cutting it so all the doors and things work. You also make your own moulds for your chocolate, and you use the vac former to vac form your moulds, and we go up into food and we melt chocolate into the moulds so we have a fully functioning professional looking product. We also make a passive speaker which you make for your phone, which includes a fair bit of CAD/CAM, some lasering and some 3D exploded drawings. Now your NEA project. Every year it is a different project. The examining board will give you a brief and you have to basically interpret that brief, do some research and produce your product based on the brief that is set. So there are 6 main areas to your NEA project. The first is research, which is roughly 4 A3 sheets. So you find out what your brief is, you look into it, you do some task analysis, you do some target market research, you find a client, and basically you look at all areas and opportunities and possibilities that you've got within the project. That then culminates in a design criteria, which is 1 sheet, which is a really detailed specification of what your project will be like. You then do some initial designs, which is normally roughly 3 sheets of designs, drawn in 3D, annotated and rendered. You then develop these and make some prototypes. So this is where this course is a bit different from what you've done in year 7 and 8. What you do a load of designs, and then you make one, you do a rough prototype of one, and then you do some analysis of that prototype. You then design a few more, make a prototype for those, and analyze those. So you end up with roughly 4 sheets and 2 scale models. Now once you've got your 2 models, you are ready to plan and make your final design. Now by the time you've developed it slightly further, planned out how you're going to make it, you end up with roughly 3 A3 sheets with information and 1 final properly made product. Now once you finish your product, you do some evaluations against your criteria, you do some evaluations with your clients, and you do some further modifications, which normally amounts to roughly 3 sheets. So in total, your NEA project is normally around 18 sheets of A3 paper, 2 models and 1 final product. Now to do this, you will get 40 guided learning hours, which is your lessons from September to February half term. Now after February half term in year 11, we start looking towards your exam. Now with this course, there is a 2-hour written exam which covers all the areas on the DT curriculum, which is energy and mechanisms, materials and properties, tools, equipment and processes, and new and emerging technologies. So it's not just drawing and making, there's a lot about the environment, there's a lot about new technologies, and there's a lot about tools and equipment as well. Now here are some examples of what your coursework will look like. So here's some photographs of previous work from the research section. Here's some various design sheets, and the last one shows some different development sheets. So you can see the course is fairly varied. Some sheets will be hand done, some will be done on the computer, and all the skills you learn in year 9 and 10 will come in useful for your final folder work, where you can see rendering techniques, 3D CAD, 2D CAD, and things like that. Once you've done your research and designing, you will make your prototypes. Here are some examples. Now you get different options of how you make your prototypes. You can make them in card, you can make them in wood, you can make them in plastic, whichever materials you feel most comfortable with. So again, the skills you learn in year 9 and 10 will be used for these. Here's an example of some of the analysis we do against your design brief, and then obviously we'll pick the ones that work the best to develop further and make your final product. Now this slide shows some of the final outcomes. So as you can see, the final products are finished to a really nice standard. And again, you get the choice in which materials you work with. We've got options of woodwork, metalwork and plastic, and you get to use all the machines and equipment that we have in school. So the laser cutters, the CNC routers, lathes and milling machines. So if this sounds like a course that you're interested in, feel free to drop me an email for more information, or look on the school website where there's more information about the course. Thanks for watching, guys.